Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I just want to do a short video about Donald J. Trump's Christmas greeting at the First Baptist Church of Dallas, which happened a few weeks back on Sunday, December 19th of 2021. The reason for this video is that many Christian YouTube channels are now claiming that Trump acknowledged Jesus as the Savior in that speech. If Trump actually said that, it would certainly be great news for them, as it would reinforce their belief that Trump was chosen by God. The senior pastor at First Baptist Church of Dallas is the well-known Dr. Robert Jeffress, who, besides being a best-selling author, is also a very strong supporter of Donald J. Trump. So it's no surprise that Jeffress would invite Trump to speak, and also no surprise that Trump would gladly accept. Now, for copyright reasons and my own fear of getting another YouTube strike, I'm not going to post the full video of Trump's speech, but I'll put a link to it at the top and also below in the description, so in case you do want to see it in full, you can click on one of those links. What I'm going to do in this video is focus in on a few key parts of what Trump said, and I'll show you the clip so you can hear it for yourself. I'll skip over the normal Trump bluster that he always does, which is about half of this 10-minute speech. So let's start. After being introduced by Jeffress, Trump receives a rousing welcome from the crowd, then spends about 2 minutes congratulating himself on the various accomplishments of his administration. After that, he said something very important. Check out this first clip.
And you know, they wrote these beautiful words for me. Look at these beautiful words. But I said, I really would rather speak from the heart. Okay, if that makes sense.
So here we have Trump saying, they wrote these beautiful words for me. And that's the first point I want to make. What Trump is reading from are not his own words, but that of someone who had prepared the speech. Someone else wrote what he called beautiful words for him. Let's go to the second clip, in which Trump begins to read from the prepared text, only to stop himself and say a very strange thing.
The Lord appeared to humble shepherds and proclaimed the reason for our Christmas joy. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. Now, when I was listening to Robert, perhaps unknowingly, you used the word Savior a lot.
Oddly, Trump told Jeffress that the pastor had, perhaps unknowingly, used the word Savior quite often in his remarks before Trump took the stage. Here's what made that odd. Before Trump spoke, the sermon that Jeffress gave was entitled, "What If There Was No Christmas?" and explained that Jesus fulfilled the Old Testament prophecies about him, lived a perfect life, and died so that believers could experience salvation in him. Since the context of that sermon was about how Jesus is our Savior, why did Trump remark that Jeffress had perhaps unknowingly said the word Savior too many times? That is really a strange thing to say. My guess is that when Trump hears the word Savior, he's thinking of someone else other than Jesus. But let's play that entire clip in context.
Listening to Robert, perhaps unknowingly, you used the word Savior a lot. And our country needs a Savior right now, and our country has a Savior. And that's not me. That's somebody much higher up than me. Much higher up.
We can see that Trump used the fact that Jeffress said the word Savior quite often to point out to the audience that, despite what they undoubtedly think about him, he is not the Savior of this country, but that someone much higher above him is. Now, did Trump just acknowledge that Jesus is the Savior in this clip? Not so fast. Remember, Trump specifically said that he does not seek God's forgiveness. There is no need for a Savior if one doesn't sin, is there? Seeking God's forgiveness and accepting Jesus as one's Savior are the bare minimum requirements to being a Christian. Since Trump doesn't seek God's forgiveness, he certainly does not recognize that Jesus is the Savior. What Trump is doing here is what he always does to a variety of different groups. He is pandering. And unfortunately, many Christians blindly accept his pandering without the slightest bit of skepticism. Let's go on to the next clip, in which Trump not only says the name Jesus Christ with as little enthusiasm as possible, but he says something that all these Christian YouTube channels seem to have overlooked.
And we have to remember that Jesus Christ is the ultimate source of our strength and of our hope, and here and everywhere and for all time, Jesus Christ. And we want to just thank everybody who believes, because we're believing in our country, we're believing in the world, we're believing in life.
Did you catch that? Let me play it again.
Just thank everybody who believes, because we're believing in our country, we're believing in the world, we're believing in life.
Yes, Trump told that congregation before him that they are believers in the world. This is completely at odds with the Bible, which clearly tells us that we are not to care for the things of this world. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. After that remarkable statement, Trump then spends a couple of minutes complimenting the military and how we have to be respected around the world. He added that we also have to give the police back their authority. Remember, he is talking about having an incredibly strong military and of the police needing authority in front of a Christian audience gathered together just before Christmas. If that message didn't seem enough out of place for you, here is his closing statement.
But seriously, we have an incredible country. It will be more incredible in years to come. We will do what has to be done to make America great again. We are going to make America great again. We are never going to forget that message. And I want to thank Robert and Amy, and I want to thank everybody in this audience. And we have to say, it's America first, and make America great again. And we will do it. Thank you all very much. Thank you. Great honor to be with you. Thank you, Robert. Thank you.
Trump closed out his so-called Christmas greeting with what could only be described as the campaign rhetoric of making America great again and his America First agenda. Some in the crowd chanted USA, USA as he said this. And this is a microcosm of what damage Trump has done to Christianity as a whole. He has poisoned it with an over-the-top patriotism, a love of politics, and a loyalty to one man, Donald J. Trump. But let's get back to the original question. Did Trump acknowledge Jesus as either his savior or the savior? No, he did not. Don't fall for it. Trump doesn't believe that Jesus is the savior because Trump doesn't believe that he needs God's forgiveness. The bottom line is that Trump is yet again pandering to Christians, and Christians are yet again falling for it hook, line, and sinker. The message of this video is that the Christian community needs to stop believing what this man says because he is completely insincere. Trump's clear pandering to the Christian community should set off alarm bells to all Christians about the true nature of this man. Christians need to wake up before he leads them down the road to perdition. Turn away from this man while there's still time. That's all for today. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.